Welcome to Inspired Women Amazing Lives podcast, where we seek to thrive, flourish, and celebrate amazing women. I am Kimberly Wiggins, and we are hosting inspired women who are sharing their lives and their stories so that other women may know that the journey to their amazing life is definitely within reach. We are here every week to share resources and information that will help you along the journey to being that inspired woman leading an amazing life. Check out our new Marriage of Mindset and Marketing series every second and fourth Wednesday of the month, where we are hosting live coaching with mindset and marketing coaches who are sharing their insights with business owners so they can experience the magic of coupling mindset techniques with marketing strategies. Be sure to listen in, as there's always takeaways for every new and seasoned business owner. Remember to like and comment, and most definitely share these episodes with another woman that you admire and one who truly inspires you. Or simply share with someone you would like to inspire. Enjoy. Welcome to Inspired Women Amazing Lives podcast, where we work to really inspire women to live their very best life, their very best, most amazing life. And we do that by sharing other inspired, amazing women who are doing that right now to show that you can do it too. And today, I have a guest that is talking about money.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't we love that word? Well, kind of. But let me introduce my guest. Her name is Kendall Hamilton, and she is the owner of PerfectSenseLiving.com. Kendall is a mindset and money coach whose primary goal is to help her clients overcome their financial overwhelm and set them up with the right tools to be confident in reaching their money goals. Welcome, Kendall.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Now, one of the things, I just said, don't we love money? But, we're going to talk about that because I just thought about that. We don't always love to talk about money. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Everyone loves to talk about money in like the good sense, like they want more of it. But then when it comes down to like the details, it's like, oh, wait a second.
Yes, that's what they do. They don't want to talk about it. But Kendall, before we get started, if you will go ahead and just share your story with me and my audience so we can get to know you better. What has brought you to this place that you're a money coach?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I kind of started off like a lot of people. My husband and I were actually making really great money. And we kept thinking to ourselves, saying to each other, like, we make great money. Where is it going? And we'd see this every single year on our tax returns. We'd see, the amount that we made during the year. And we're like, what the heck? Where did this go?
Right.
And so essentially we were feeling like we make too much to feel this broke. So that's when we really got into personal finance and really digging deep as to like where our money was going and how we were spending it. And at the time we were about $41,000 in debt and some change. And so we took the necessary strides to get a budget in place and like get really serious about our finances. We ended up paying down $30,000 of our debt in 12 months. It was incredible. Yes, just by becoming aware of our spending, by becoming more purposeful with our budget and the way that we were handling our money. And so through all that, we learned so much, like so many tips and tricks, so many strategies. And that's what led me to creating PerfectSenseLiving.com. It was a way to keep myself accountable. It was a way to share what I was learning with others. And it kind of blossomed into this passion and love for teaching people and helping people on their own journeys. And so from the blogging world, I became a coach where I now coach women from all over the world with having better money mindsets, paying down debt, creating a budget that they can stick to, dating for their big future goals. And I absolutely love it.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's a really amazing story. Oh my gosh, $30,000 in debt. And I try not to have debt. I try not to have debt, but at this current time I do. And I just said recently, because I just paid for a coach. That was a huge ticket. And also I still have a car payment that I need to get rid of. So this is going to really bless me as well as my audience, so I can figure out in 2020 how to get rid of all of that debt.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really depends on like your goals. Like what are your goals? Like for me and my husband, we wanted to be free from all of those payments because we added them up. We added up our minimum payments every month. Right. And I think it totaled like $900 and something. And we were like, oh my gosh, like what could we be doing with an extra $900 per month instead of like giving it away to these creditors? And so for us, that was kind of like our why of like why we wanted to get rid of the debt. But I also, at the same time, I don't teach my clients that like debt is this bad thing that they need to feel terrible about and that they need to like get rid of ASAP. Nice. Yeah, so I don't come from that scarce mindset like that. I really teach them that debt is neutral. All it is simply a number staring back at you on a piece of paper. That's it. Yes, and what makes it good or bad is just what you think about that number. And so,
I like that.
It all depends on your goals.
Yeah. I really, really like the thought. Some people, I went to a financial advisor once, and she definitely made me feel like my debt was bad. I was like, lady, don't you have a house and a car payment? It was just really awful. She made me feel really bad about my debt, like I should have been doing so much better. And
because if you think about it, what do you do when you feel terrible? When somebody makes you feel terrible about your debt, which you're already feeling terrible about your debt, like you don't need somebody to tell you that either. But what do you do when you feel terrible is you hide from it. You hide from managing your money. You just kind of brush it under the rug and don't want to deal with it. And so that doesn't do anybody any good. And so that's kind of where I think that why money is so taboo is because everyone just kind of like brushes it under the rug. Like we don't want to talk about it because everyone feels so bad about it. But if you were to just look at it from just a more like positive, neutral stance, like you'd be able to like kind of take yourself out of the equation, out of the situation, and look at it from an outsider's perspective and be like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is my goals. This is how I'm going to tackle it. Like you're in a better spot to tackle it head on from a positive or neutral space rather than feeling terrible and deep down and like you're failing.
You're so right. You're absolutely right, because I remember back then she made me feel bad and I just spent more money.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. It's like this continuous cycle.
Yeah, very good. I love that. I love it. All right, so Kendall, what would you say is the biggest thing that people fall short on around their finances? What is the thing that trips them up the most?
I think it's actually just being aware of their financial situation. Like I said before, a lot of people just simply brush their finances under the rug, and they don't really, they know what money they have coming in as far as their income goes. But as far as like really tracking their expenses and knowing where every single dollar is going, I think that's where people fall short on, is they don't have a plan for their money, for every dollar that they bring in.
Right. And, I was at a conference once, Kendall, And I heard a speaker say this from stage, and it was very profound for me. She said, just like with your money,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't tell your time where to go, someone else will use it for you. If you don't plan for your time and tell your time actually where to go, someone else will use it for you. And so, but she said,
Yep.
just as with your money, she started it with that. And so then
Yep.
someone asked her a question and said, why did you say just as with your money? She said, because the money is the same way. She said, if you don't,
Exactly.
yes, if you don't plan for where your money is going to go, she said, you won't ever know. Someone else will just take it from you and you use it in ways that you don't even plan to use it. And I thought about that and I said, oh, wow, that was a very profound moment for me. Because when I have extra money,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, because people aren't aware, when I have extra money and it's just lying around and I see something, I always say, oh, I can get that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't have any plans for my money.
Right.
And so,
Exactly.
wow, yeah. So is that one of the things that you teach people, how to plan for their money?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, in my program and what I help my clients get to is I help them create a plan where every single dollar has a job. And so just like you said, like if you don't have a plan for your money, it will leave. Like,
Yeah.
and even I do this to this day. Like if there's like some like we get a bonus or something, my husband gets a bonus and we haven't planned for that money. Like if it sits in our account, it will get spent if we don't have a plan for it. And by the time we realize it, it's gone and we didn't like put it to good use or put it to use that we would have had we had a plan for it. So yeah, I teach my clients that to have a job for every single dollar, whether that is X amount goes in savings, X amount goes to groceries, X amount goes to gas. Like every single dollar, like exactly where it's going.
I love that term. Have a job for every single dollar.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that on my wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things I need to remember every day. Have a job for my dollars.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. My question left me, but I so so I'm thinking that do people fight you on that? When you work with them, do they kind of fight you on that just a little bit? Because okay, I'll tell you what popped in my head when you said that though. Although I love that, have a job for your dollars. Here's what kind of popped in my head. I would be one of those people that would probably say, oh, that sounds so restrictive. Oh my gosh, I gotta have a job for all my dollars.
Does it sound restrictive to you, or does it sound like too like I guess I don't know what the word I'm trying to think of is, but to answer your question, I've gotten pushback a couple of times because of this old mentality of so I teach my clients give every single dollar a job. That means that once they get their paycheck in every 2 weeks or month or what have you, that when they break down their budget, they say it's called a zero-based budget. So basically you have your income, you have all your expenses and everything that you're giving a job for those dollars, and then it equals zero, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they get the pushback, or I get the pushback is, well, I don't want to be left with zero in my account. Like, well, what am I doing? Like, so, but from there, they're thinking, I have zero in my account. Oh my gosh, but they're not realizing, but you've already accounted for savings and debt and groceries and gas and dining out and shopping and all this stuff. And so it's not coming from a place of scarcity and lack. Like you're not lacking anything. You have fully committed and you fully have funded every single one of your goals. It's just the reason why you would either see a zero in your account or anything like that. It's because you've given every single dollar a job. You've done your job as far as managing your money correctly.
Gotcha.
Now, if you don't want to have, be left with zero in your account until the next payday or what have you, then you simply account for having a buffer in your checking account, which that is perfectly okay too. A lot of people feel a little bit more comfortable with, let's say, a $200 to $300 buffer in their checking account just in case anything happens. So pushback in that sense, yes. As far as maybe being a little bit restrictive, creating a budget like that is not meant to be, a straitjacket keeping you from having any fun. It's supposed to give you permission to spend.
Gotcha.
Permission to use your money the way that you want to.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I know. And what I'm thinking is that, like with the way that you explained everything, I think I tried a zero-based budget app before, but I didn't quite get it. So, but from everything that you explained, it sounds like, let's say if I know that I spend about $50 a week eating out and going to the movies and just maybe having a little bit of fun, that I would create a category that's my fun time. And I will automatically put $50 in there.
Yeah.
And, or if I know that, well, I don't go, especially for me, I don't go shopping hardly at all, but I really don't. But every now and then, maybe once a month, I might get a bug and I may say, all right, I'm going to go shopping. So I could create a category monthly as a shopping fund, and I could put $75, $100 in it, and it would be there if I needed it.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And that way, and that's kind of just like I mentioned before, is just being aware and like knowing what to do with your money and where your money is going. Like you'll look at your month ahead and you'll kind of anticipate this, like what birthdays do I have coming up? What family functions do I have coming up that maybe I need to budget for? Or am I going to go shopping later in the month? Do you think, and you kind of plan accordingly for that. So just really thinking ahead and becoming aware of your finances is really going to help with that.
Very nice. I like that. So I know you also teach about money blocks. So could you share with us what specifically is a money block for those people in my audience who may not have ever become familiar with the term?
Yeah, so a money block, to make it simple, is it's known as a negative subconscious belief or a thought that somebody has that keeps them stuck or broke or kind of getting less than desirable results with money. So these money blocks kind of limit you from achieving your money goals that you have.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So for example, if you're wanting to save and you're wanting to budget or you're wanting to pay off all your debt, but you're just not getting those results that you'd hope for, there may be something there subconsciously that's kind of keeping you or blocking you from reaching those goals. So that's what a money block would be.
So let's say, just for example, all right, so I've followed everything you've given me. I've set up my zero-based budget, right? But for what?
That's just one budgeting method. Yeah, that's just one budgeting method. There's so many that I work with my clients on, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, gotcha. So I've set up my budget, and for whatever reason, when I get my money, when I get paid, I'm not hitting my budget. I'm not fulfilling that budget the right way. You know what I mean? Okay. So there could be, you're saying there could be a money block I'm not following the budget. That's what I'm not doing. I'm not following the budget. So what are you, so you're saying there could be a money block there that's stopping me from doing that?
There could be, yeah. So you really want to pay attention to the stories that you're telling yourself in your head. A lot of the times we have these very innocent, very common thoughts. So we think about money like, I'm just not good at budgeting is a story that we tell ourselves. Like somebody might say that as like, let's say for example, it might be you, like, I'm just not good at budgeting, I can't stick to a budget. Like you say that like you're reporting the news to me, you know, like you say that as it's a fact, but really it's not. It's just a negative money block, a belief that you have that's just keeping you stuck from doing that. So what you want to do is go about changing that story that you tell yourself in order to kind of unwind or undo that streak that you have of not sticking to your budget.
So what you're telling me, Kendall, is this money block is an emotional thing that kind of happens unconsciously with people. So yeah. I could have a money block and not know it. What are some of the signs of, you know, I guess, like you mentioned there, saying that thing, like, I'm just not good at budgeting. What are some of the other signs?
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, if you have these goals and maybe you keep falling short of them, that could be a sign that you have a money goal. You know, one way to know for sure if you have a money block is, like if you feel like you're doing everything right, but you aren't getting the results that you're after every month. So you'll know you have a money block if you don't love the results that you have with money right now.
Yes. And I can relate to that, Kendall. I remember one time, and I probably wasn't budgeting right, but I would say, you know, I would put together this budget, not be able to stick to it and say, Lord, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I get this budget to work? Why is that not working for me? And I was just sitting there really just creating the story in my head, right?
Yes, exactly. You see, so even just noticing like the questions that you ask yourself aren't like, what am I doing wrong? Or why can't I make this work? Those are all questions that they seem innocent enough, but they kind of have a negative shift to them, because you are coming from a place of, what am I doing wrong? I have to be missing something because all these other people can do it and I can't, so I must be missing something. So it's more of like a negative result that you're or negative question that you're asking yourself, that's coming up with all of these, like feeding you all these additional negative thoughts that just kind of perpetuate the cycle of you not being able to stick to your budget.
All right. I like that. Yes. So it's giving me something to be aware of. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Now, what would you say are the top 5 money blocks that may be keeping people stuck?
So I would say there's sentences that we tell ourselves.
Okay.
Money blocks.
The stories
and
again.
So
okay.
The stories. Yep. Yeah, those are all interchangeable. The sentences we tell ourselves, the stories we tell ourselves, the beliefs that we have in our mind, the thoughts that we're having. And so a lot of money blocks that I hear a lot is, I'm really bad with money. That's a big money block. I can't ever stick to my budget. That's a money block. I can't afford that. Is another one.
That's a money block.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't afford that is another one. Money is hard to come by or hard to earn. That's another one. Or I have to work really hard for my money. That's another one. Like, I know that was 5 right there, but that was, I mean, there's so many that I could just like list off. Like, that's too expensive is another one. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Like, you know, budgeting is for frugal people or broke people. Like, that's another one. Like, money, I don't do well with money. That's another one. Like, there's I can list so many money blocks that, and in the free guide that you're gonna mention here, I do have a list of like over 50 money blocks, I think, that we all think are just so innocent and common phrases in our everyday world, but they're really money blocks. So I think I have like over 50 of those listed in the guide.
Nice. So. The one you said about budgeting is for broke people. Do you know, I heard a speaker say that once from stage. It was,
really?
Yes.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah, she did. It was very funny because when she said it, I was like, because she's like, that budgeting comes from a place of lack. And I was like, really?
Okay, so here's what I have to say about that. Okay, the term budget or the word budgeting gets such a bad rap. It's
Yeah,
so
it does.
funny. Like
It does.
it gets like everyone has such a negative connotation on the word budget or budgeting, and it's so funny. So here's what I do when I do notice one of my clients has a very negative connotation towards that word. I
Mm-hmm.
just like to change that word to a money management plan, a plan to manage your money,
There you go. I like that.
because that's all a budget is it's just a plan to manage your money. Like just like you have a plan to manage your time during your day,
Right.
like time blocking, it's
Right.
just the same as budgeting. Like it's just a plan to manage your money. That's it.
Yes. Kendall, I
So,
like
and and that is not just for broke people or not just for frugal people. That is for people who have goals and ambitions and like places they want to get with their money.
Yeah, and you're right, because um when I talk to clients or potential clients that are getting ready to, they're working a job, and I tell them, don't quit your job if you want to start a business. Um, not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
We need that money. That's seed money. And when I talk to them about budgeting, Kendall, to be able to, and I probably need to, although I have an accounting background, I will say this. An accounting background, but after I'd done it for like 5 years, I hated it. I was like, oh my gosh, why did I ever go to school for this? um but one of the things that I do tell them is this. So we create what I call a budget, where where they're making sure that they have savings money, that they have all of their bills covered. you know we make sure that their business is not taking away from any of those things. I
Yeah.
can
Okay.
tell them, you're not quite ready for a business if you have to really take away money from that.
Yeah.
And so we budget that way. And then we think about all the things you need to start your business, what that would cost you. Like if you're going to make it a one-time yearly payment for some of the software like Zoom, or are you going to make monthly payments on it, do it from month to month? And we look at all those things. And so, budget, having that is very, very important. You're right. It's a
Yeah.
plan. It's a part. I make it a part of their plan to start a business, because without it, then you're falling short. You're trying to figure it out as you move along. And it's a distraction, especially when you work a full-time job already and you're trying to build a
Right.
business on the side. So I think it's very
Yeah.
important. But I like the way you say that, a money management,
Money management. Yeah.
money
Yeah.
management plan. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you have to have that plan for your money. And so many people, they're wanting to, build their savings, or they're wanting to go on a family vacation, or they're wanting to, afford X, Y, and Z. And then they just like always wonder like why they can't ever reach their goals. But yet they've never even attempted to create a plan for their money, aka a budget. And so like that's the one piece that's missing for you. Like you need to create that plan so that every dollar has a job, and you like know how close you are to reaching your goals. That's another benefit of having a really great budget, is knowing how close you are to reaching your goals.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I know, for me, one of my budgeting aspirations for 2020, and I haven't done my overall goals, my kind of like annual goals I do every year yet, which always includes finance. But one of my budgeting aspirations this year is to be able to identify the conferences, and events that I'd like to attend. For me, that's personal development that I do every year. I want to identify those early when I do my goals, and have an idea of how much they're going to cost me, so I can spread them out throughout my budget and be ready to pay for them when they happen.
Yeah, that's such a good plan.
Yeah, instead of trying to, because every year it happens for me. I oh my God, I want to go to that conference. And then I have to look at what I already have in my budget and say, can I afford to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that to me is like a reactive way. I want to be really proactive this year.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little bit daunting to look at, a conference you want to go to or a convention and think like, oh my gosh, it's, $1,000 or it's, $599 to attend. And I have to come up with this right now, rather than if you were proactive, like you said, and planned for it ahead of time, you were maybe putting away $50 every month or $100 every month or what it might be. And then you're just like, it comes up and you're like, perfect, I have the money right now. I can just spend it, or I can buy my ticket and don't even have to worry about it.
Right. Absolutely. Even if, because I was thinking, even if I don't attend the conferences I think I'm going to attend, that money would be there. I may see something else later in the year, which always happens too. And I can say, oh, I've already got money squirreled away for conferences, so I can attend this one.
Exactly. Yeah. And that could be something for you that you just kind of always want to include in your budget. Your own budget is having like a conference category that you can just kind of stash away money for, so that when these do pop up for you, you just have something, you have a stash handy that you can tap into when you're ready.
I like that. Yes. So now, do you have a specific system that you use to help people get unstuck?
I do. Yeah. So it's a really simple, easy way to one, uncover all your money blocks, and two, start to work and unravel them and tell yourself new stories. So the first thing I do is, I might get a little woo-woo.
Oh, that's okay.
I hope that's okay.
Absolutely. Woo-woo is real, audience. Don't
so real.
The woo-woo. Woo-woo is real. Go ahead, Kendall.
Yeah. So this really resonates with women journal. Like my clients, I've found they journal a lot, and so they're my people.
Yes.
But so what I have my clients do is I have them set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes, and I have them get their journal or a piece of paper or whatever that they can have that they write on. I have them write the word money at the top, or whatever the topic is that we're thinking about. So maybe it is, if I'm working with somebody who has their own business and they think they have money blocks with their business, at the top, they'll write my business or their business name. So you write the topic at the top, or just for general, speaking purposes, we'll just write money at the top. And for that 10 or 15 minutes that the timer is going, you just write down all of the thoughts that come to your head about money. And you, like, unedited, uncensored, you don't censor yourself at all. You just, everything that comes to your mind, you write down. So that might look like, I hate that I don't have the money goal, or I don't have the money in my account that I want yet. I hate that I can't reach my goals. I wish I could afford this. I really want to buy this. Like, just all of those thoughts that start flooding your head about money, you just like write them all down. And at the end of the 10 or 15 minutes, I always encourage my clients to like just go the full time. And normally you're going to get like a full page of notes, maybe even 2 pages of your thoughts that you've written down. And so those, at the end of the 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to look at everything that you wrote down. So I like to compare this to kind of organizing a hoarder's home. Like, you cannot see what's inside that hoarder's home if everything is stuck inside. Like, you have to take everything out,
right,
in order to like see what you're working with.
Yes.
So that's the same thing. This is called a thought download, what I just went through. So so what you want to do, it's the same thing with your thought download that you just did. You just took everything out of your mind and you got it out on paper, so that you can kind of see what you're working with. You can see all of these thoughts that you have about money. And so from there, you can start to organize, like, okay, what thoughts are great and that serve me about money, like that are really positive? Like, I'm going to keep those, right? And then you're going to look at your paper and you're going to ask yourself, what thoughts are really negative, or what thoughts are not serving me, or maybe I believe these might be some money blocks. And you're going to do the work with those. You're going to do the work to kind of tell yourself a different story about those. And so for, once you have your thought download done and completed, you can, the negative thoughts, you can go ahead and start to ask yourself how you can reframe them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say one of the money blocks is, I'm really bad at budgeting. And let's say you're taking the steps to get better at budgeting. You've maybe looked it up on Google, you've read some blog posts on how to budget better. You can change that simple sentence to, I'm learning how to better manage my money. That is so much better. It has much better energy than the, I'm really bad at budgeting.
Right.
Phrase. Yeah. So that's a really great way to kind of see the money blocks that are that you're thinking. And you have to do this on a piece of paper. You cannot see what's going on inside your head unless you just get it out on paper. Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to do that exercise to get it all out.
And then
a lot of the times once you kind of review what you've written down, you'll see something that you wrote down and you're like, what in the world is that? Like, where did that thought come from? No wonder I suck at budgeting right now, because I have this thought that I just keep thinking over and over.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, you'll become really aware.
Oh, wow. Nice. I know, and then I'm guessing that you get with them and coach them through a lot of that.
Yeah.
Because, I was just thinking how some things based on, I'm a little country girl. I grew up in a little country town in South Carolina. And my mom was like the breadwinner in the family because my dad was always sick ever since I knew he was in a wheelchair. And so we didn't have much money. And to be honest, the entire community was poor. We just didn't realize how poor everybody else was because we thought we were the only ones that were poor. And just living like that, where money is short and it does something to the inside of you, even when you grow up. It does something to the inside of you. And you're right. You have these stories that you hold on to. And I think deep down inside of me for like a long time, I had this story that it's okay to be poor because my mom was poor and she raised us all fine and it was good. We were always taken care of. So I had this story inside of me that, if I never make money, that's okay. It's okay to be poor. Wouldn't you say that was definitely a money block?
I would think so. And I want to ask you, when you say that it's okay to be poor, how does that make you feel? What's the first, feeling that comes to mind when you say it's okay to be poor?
It gives me, I tell you, oddly enough, it gave me a feeling of, all right, I don't have to do anything more than I'm doing right now because it's okay to be poor. That's what it gave me a feeling of. Okay.
But did that align with your goal?
No, it didn't.
Right.
And so
that's where the block comes in, is when it's not aligning with your goals. Like you say, it's okay to be poor. Therefore, your action from that is I don't have to do anything more than I'm doing now. That's not really aligning with your goals of, wanting to build a business and, be the breadwinner for your family or, whatever your goals might be. That would be a block right there because it's in direct conflict with your goal.
Right. And one of the ways that it manifested itself, Kendall, is that I would not charge people enough. Whenever I tried to raise my prices or try to charge people more, I would have like this nervous stomach thing. It would be like, I don't know if I can charge that much, because I was coming from a place of it's okay to be poor. So.
Oh, yeah.
And I was thinking that everybody else was going to be poor. They couldn't afford my prices. And it was really weird. It's just the environment I grew up in,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's, something that, I would work on with my clients on how to like really like take a deep dive into that thought process and see like how we can uncover it, how it's serving them, what other areas it's kind of showing up for them in their lives, and the steps to kind of reverse it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I had a client once who said, I make the money, I don't have to manage it. And I thought that was an odd statement to say. What is your thoughts on that? One of the things that I really focus on is people knowing their numbers in their business, which includes their money numbers. You got to know your numbers.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really odd statement as well, because, yes, you make the money, but why wouldn't you want to manage it? I don't understand, because, if there's anything that anybody has learned from this episode, it's that if you don't have a plan for your money, it's going to leave. So if you don't manage your money, it's going to leave. And so I don't want that for myself. Like, I want my money to stick around. I want my money to be a magnet to me. And so, I would just ask her why. Why would you not want to manage it?
And I think it came from a place for her of, she was having great success in her business at that time. So money was really flowing in. And my question was, what happens when the money stops? Are you not trying to manage it to make sure for the lean days? Because there may be lean days. You just need to be able to manage it, to be able to know what you have and what you don't have.
Yeah. And that's actually a really good point that you brought up. So you always want to manage your money from a place of being very abundant and very like excited to manage your money. Like, you never want to say like, oh, there could be some bad times and there could be some really slow months, and so let's like really create a plan for our money, because it's kind of coming from like a place of scarcity and a place of lack, that way. So maybe in the context of your guys' conversation, she was just saying, well, like, I don't even think that way of it being slow months, or I don't even think that it's going to slow down. Like, maybe she was feeling so abundant and plentiful with her money that, that was just kind of the high vibe energy state that she was in.
And it may have been, it may have been. Wow. Well, Kendall has shared a lot of information with us today, audience, and she has really given us some food for thought about money. Oh my gosh. Yes. And like I said before, you can find her at Perfect Sense, and that's CENTS living.com. Her information is on the podcast page. And she is giving us a free gift today. And as she mentioned before, that free gift has some money blocks in there.
Yeah, yep. It goes through the whole process of how to identify your money blocks, those 4 steps to kind of uncover it, doing the thought downloads and, all that. And then I think there's 55 total money blocks I think I've listed in there that seem super innocent enough and that we say every single day, and that we think are just so, normal to say, but they're actually money blocks. So these are good to kind of review. If you do say any of those, maybe check yourself a little bit on that.
And Kendall also has a course that's coming out, you said in mid-November?
I do, yes. I have a course coming out, like you said, mid-November. I'm so excited about it. It's going to be kind of like a hybrid of one-on-one coaching mixed with self-paced, self-taught.
Nice.
Which I found that, a lot of my audience was split 50-50 between self-paced and self-taught and then one-on-one coaching. So I'm kind of offering a little hybrid of both.
Okay.
And so it's going to be great. It's not out just yet, but it's going to cover all bases of getting like your budget just ironclad in place. It's going to go over paying off debt, saving for your big future goals. Of course, money mindset, because that's what I do.
Yes.
And it's going to be great.
Yes. So make sure that you get over to Kendall's page and sign up and get on her list. Get the free gift so you'll be on her list and hear when the course comes out.
Yep.
And she also does free money trainings twice a month on her Facebook group, which is Perfect Financial Foundation. I will also have a link on the podcast page to join that group. So if you're having some money issues, you want to be in that group, you want to be in the space where the money coach is.
Yes, absolutely. I go live in there and I do some trainings. And so we focus on a topic every week, and you'll get so much from that group.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, I asked Kendall to share something unusual with me, and she did. Her husband and her share the same birthday.
We do. And it's so,
It's the
weird.
same day and the same year.
Same day, same year. It's a really odd day for both of us because, we're leading up to it. We're always like, I'll ask him like, oh, what do you want to do for your birthday? And he's like, well, I don't know. What do you want to do for your birthday? So it's kind of, we haven't figured out the greatest system yet and how to celebrate both of us, because we obviously have different interests and different, ways we want to celebrate. So we haven't come up with a good system yet, but we're working on it.
Oh, wow. That's really nice. I only tried dating a guy that had a birthday close to mine. So that means we were both Leos once.
Yeah.
That did not work. That did not work.
Surprising. So my husband and I are both Aries, and surprisingly we get along great, and it's great, but we we make it work.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, one of your favorite motivational quotes is, you won't have I can't talk. Let me start over. You won't have the desire if you didn't have the ability to achieve it. Why is that your favorite quote? I like that.
I love that, because I just don't think that like when ideas pop into our head, I don't think that we, I don't think that we have to like limit ourselves. Like if we have an idea that pops into our head, like it is achievable. We can do this. And
Yes.
So, that's kind of what I've tried to live by. When I have an idea of, oh my gosh, I want to be debt free, a lot of people look at the number of debt and they think, oh, I can never do that. But
Right.
if you have the idea that pops in your head, like, why not? Why isn't that possible for you? Of course
Yes.
it's possible for you. So same thing that I've used, to, being my own boss, quitting my 9-to-5, paying off my debt, marrying my dream guy, having a family, all of these things, like the area I want to live in, like, of course, like if you have that desire, then you have the ability to achieve it.
All right. I love it. And that is part woo-woo. Yes, because you got to manifest some of that.
I know. I'm a little woo-woo.
Yes. And I love it, though. I want my audience to embrace woo-woo.
Yes, I love that. Embrace the woo-woo.
Embrace that woo-woo, because that is the thing that's going to help you get where you need to go. Really, it is.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Kendall, for being here. I had a great time.
I had so much fun with you.
I know, money. Oh, I love talking about money. So if you would leave my audience with one thing, action item that they can do today and start to change their money mindset, what would that be?
Yeah, I would just say to kind of work on that thought download that we spoke about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Set that timer for 10 or 15 minutes, go to a quiet space, TV off, music off, and just really take that 10 or 15 minutes to write down what your thoughts are about money. If you've ever wondered if you even have money blocks, like this will be your answer and this will give you that answer. So I would say to take that time today to really kind of invest in yourself and see if you have some money blocks that are keeping you stuck.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, Kendall, you're right. Because some of the things we don't know are money blocks. We don't think it
Absolutely.
is. But yeah. So being able to write that down will really give us a clear picture. Good. I really like that.
Yeah. And if anybody has any questions on if this actually is a money block or not, they can always reach out to me. I am, on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm more than happy to help anybody who messages me. So
Yes. And I will put all of her information on the podcast page. Definitely do that. Reach out to her. I may reach out to her myself after I do that exercise and figure out, do I have any more dogs here?
Absolutely.
Yes. So thank you so much, audience. Thank you, Kendall, for being here and sharing with them from the heart. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And thank you, audience, for tuning in. And we will see you on the next episode of Inspired Women, Amazing Lives. Have a good day. Bye.